Well, everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and compare the Nothing Phone 1 and the Samsung Galaxy S22 and see which specific phone is the better one for you. Now, I will definitely tell you, I think the more flagship one is the S22. It's available in more areas, but the Nothing Phone 1 is still a pretty good phone at the price tag, and there's a ton of thunder going on around me, so I'm risking my life to give you this video. If you want to buy any phones that I would recommend this year, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, between both the Nothing Phone 1 is the bigger phone in pretty much every single area. It has a 6.55-inch OLED display. It's a 1080p panel, which really isn't that bad. Hole punch display in the top left corner. However, this one is 120 hertz, which is having a phone like this at this caliber and this price tag is really nice, and I'm a big fan of the way this phone ultimately looks. I mean, I think it looks like a pretty good phone. It looks almost exactly like the Samsung Galaxy S22 on the front, which has a 1080p panel, 6.1-inch dynamic AMOLED display, and this one is a 120 hertz panel. Now, in my opinion, this specific phone is probably the better display. It's the hole punch display is a little bit smaller, I think. It's a smaller display in total, but I think the display looks better on the S22. But honestly, for the price tag of the Nothing Phone 1, like I spent, I think, around $800 or $900 in the S22. The Nothing Phone 1, I spent about I think I spent like $600 or $700 on it, I don't remember. But it really was a little bit cheaper than the S22. And it's available much cheaper around the world than even the price tag I paid for it. So definitely a big thing to keep in mind. In terms of the thinness and thickness, you can see that the Nothing Phone 1 is a little bit of a thicker phone, and it's definitely a bigger phone in every dimension than the S22. They both kind of have this flat side to it, but the S22 is a little bit more curved than the Nothing Phone 1, so keep that in mind. On the back, though, very different types of setups. So the Nothing Phone 1 has this full glass back, which looks really cool. We also have this LED type of backlight thing, which is really nice. I really do think it's a novelty. I'm pretty sure if they ever make another phone, it's probably not going to happen, to be honest. But it's cool to interact with the user and have more people come to this phone because of this. It's a glass back though, whereas on the S22 we have a frosted glass back, which in my opinion is more superior than the standard glass back, and this one feels a lot better. Surprisingly, they both have wireless and reverse wireless charging apparently, which is really cool. The S22 has this triple camera setup. The Nothing Phone 1 has a dual camera setup. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys already know which one is the better camera. The S22 is going to be better. We'll talk about that in a second. But in terms of the outside, I will definitely tell you when it comes down to both, I think the S22 is definitely the better one. But the Nothing Phone 1 definitely surprises me because, again, with that price tag, you're getting a really good built phone. It's almost like a Pixel 6a. When I looked at the 6a, I think that phone was really good for the price tag. It's not better than the S22, but it is very interesting of the price tag that some of these phones are going for. Now, I also do think that something like the Nothing Phone 1, it also comes at a pretty good price for the display and for the build quality and everything. But the weird thing is this phone is the first generation of its kind. So I'm not really too sure what the future of this phone holds in terms of software and longevity. With Samsung phones, for better or for worse, they've been around for a while, and we've kind of seen what Samsung has done. But a big thing to keep in mind is that Samsung has been making some really good improvements. They've been going through and pretty much adding and increasing the longevity of some of these software versions, and I think that is a massive thing to keep in mind. If you're wanting to get a phone that's going to last as long as possible, maybe the Samsung ones are now the better way to go. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% too sure about the Nothing Phone 1, but maybe if the Nothing company makes a Phone 2 and Phone 3 and Phone 4, we can kind of get an idea how long this phone's going to last. I think they said it's going to last 4 years or something like that, but we've seen a lot of these types of companies, kind of state, oh, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, when in reality they didn't even come close. So that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go into speed comparison between both these phones. The Nothing Phone 1 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 778G Plus chipset inside of it. With 8 gigs of RAM, it does go up to 12, but this one has 8. The Galaxy S22 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset inside of it with 8 gigs of RAM inside of this one. So let's go see how they both compare. Okay, there we go. Like I stated, I do apologize for the rain if you guys can hear it. Clearing out of all these applications. Let's get into it. S22 is here. Nothing Phone 1 is here. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, S22 is definitely the faster one. Let's go and get into messages 3, 2, 1. I don't know why this one is this. Okay, there we go. Hopping out of here. Let's go and get into their Play Stores 3, 2, 1. And kind of the same thing. I mean, you guys can kind of tell what was going on there. Scrolling through, like I said, both of them have 120 hertz, which is really nice. So you're not really going to notice too big of a difference. They both seem very smooth as well. One is stock Android, though one isn't. Let's get into their cameras 3, 2, 1. Okay, I don't know why the S22 didn't actually open. Let's go ahead and take a photo. And Took a while on the S22. Let's go and get into this photo. And okay, let's cover up that one. Let's go get into some of these third-party applications. Let's do Snapchat 321. Now I think I'm logged into. No, I wasn't, but the S22 still was faster there. Let's go and get into Instagram. Let's just do Facebook. Actually, let's go and do Temple Run 2 321. So they're both going through this downloading content. It did take a little bit longer for the downloading content on the S22, and we can see that the Nothing Phone 1 may have actually been the faster one here when it came down to it. So very, very interesting. We're getting some of this flip-floppiness going on already. Okay, let's go and hop out of here. Let's go and get a play. And I don't know if there's going to be that big of a difference. Go and hop out of here. So Temple Run, the original. I don't even know where half these applications are in these devices anymore. We can load up into their settings application, 3, 2, 1. Took a little second on the Nothing Phone 1. I'm not too sure why that happened. Now scrolling in between each application, let's go ahead and see. I'm going to try my best. Very smooth on both. I'm actually fairly surprised how smooth both these phones are when it comes down to that. So you can see both of them were fairly smooth. If I go and get into the actual multitasking panel, see if there's a difference. I don't think there's going to be that big of a difference. Hopping out of here, I honestly think from everything that I've tested so far, even from both these phones from a long time ago, I'm pretty sure that the Nothing Phone 1 is still a very fast phone, but I want to say that the Galaxy S22 is the fast one when it comes down to it. I mean, this is a very good phone, and although the Z Flip 4 and the Z Fold 4 with the upgraded chipset inside have better performance, this one is still a very good performing phone, and the Nothing Phone 1 is pretty good for the price tag too, but I would probably say the S22 is probably the better and faster one overall, but the Nothing Phone 1 is still very, very close. So in terms of that covers it up there. Now, in terms of the camera setup, this is probably where things start kind of going into the Galaxy's favor completely. I mean, we have a triple camera setup on the S22. So a wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto lens, whereas on the Nothing Phone 1, we have a dual camera setup, a wide and ultra-wide sensor. Now, we can do 8K capability on the Samsung Galaxy S22, as well as 4K at 60 on the front. The Nothing Phone 1 can do 1080p on the front and 4K at 30 on the back. So you're definitely getting a better lens on something like a Galaxy S22. And we've pretty much been seeing this for years now. Personally, I think ever since probably the iPhone, probably since 2017 going into 2019, Samsung has pretty much had the best cameras of every single year, and this one is no different. I mean, this one has the best camera you can buy on a phone, and probably one of the better cameras you can buy in a mobile device if you're not trying to spend like $1,000 on a DSLR. For 8K capability on a phone like this is amazing. This thing has a ton of features built in as well. I mean, look at under this more option, how many features you're getting built in, and that's not even counting portrait mode, panoramic mode, video mode. I mean, there's tons of things built in. With something like the Nothing Phone 1, the problem that this phone has is that it's not a bad phone in terms of the camera, but I feel like it could have been a little bit better. But again, for this type of price tag, it is kind of what you pay for. It's not a bad performing phone by any means, but I feel like things like 4K at 60 is kind of like a bare and essential at this point. Like, I don't understand how this phone couldn't have gotten that. That's kind of weird, but for the price tag, I guess you're getting a good camera. I mean, it's not great, but I guess it gets the job done. I think that's the best way to describe it. I think the Pixel 6a camera is probably better than this one as well, if I'm being completely honest. So in terms of the camera setup, that kind of covers it up there. And like I said before, to be completely honest, I'm pretty sure the Nothing Phone 1 isn't a bad phone, but it's just such a new phone that I'm curious to see what the future of this device holds. I wish it was available in America, and I wish we kind of had some, I don't know the best way to describe it, but I like this phone. I think it has some cool features. I saw a lot of talk about the backlight. I think the performance is pretty good. I think the cameras are okay, and I like stock Android, so this thing is pretty much up my alley. But I think when we compare it to something like a Galaxy S22, this phone is just such a flagship in so many different ways. It's not even funny. This thing's camera is probably one of the best ones that you can buy nowadays in terms of a mobile device. I think the display on this thing is very good. I think the performance on this phone is pretty good too. I just don't see a reason why you'd want to buy a Nothing Phone 1 over this one unless you really like stock Android or the lights on the back. Other than that, I'd probably recommend buying a Galaxy S22 if you can find it for a good price. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.